Hello everyone and welcome back to this channel. If you're a music lover, a gospel musician, a choir director, a DJ or an event planner or just someone who interacts with music regularly, this video is one you must watch because something very important just happened. The Nigerian Copyright Commission, the NCC, has released a statement that is shaking the entire entertainment and event industry. This is not a rumor. It's not a social media headline. It's an official directive. According to this warning, DJs are now being cautioned not to play or perform other people's content in public without a proper license or the copyright owner's authorization. If you go ahead to do so, you may be fined up to 1 million naira or even serve up to 5 years in prison. Yes, you heard that right. Now, let me take a few moments to explain what this means, why it matters, who it affects, and what steps you should take to protect yourself. Now, most people think copyright is just some complicated things that just affect some artists in studios or people uploading content on YouTube, but that's not true. Copyright is a legal framework that affects everyone who creates or distributes music, whether for profit or not. Now, let's break this down clearly. If you're a DJ, when you perform music at a party, wedding, concert, or lounge, you are engaging in what is legally known as a public performance. That is, you are using someone else's intellectual property for a public audience. Whether you are paid or not, that's a secondary case. The act of playing someone else's copyrighted material in a public space automatically places you under the copyright law. In Nigeria, this is governed by the Copyright Act, and under the current legal provisions, you must obtain a license before engaging in any form of public performance of copyrighted music. That license is usually issued by the Collecting Society in Nigeria. That society is the Musical Copyright Society of Nigeria, that's the MCSN. Here is something many DJs may not know. There is actually an existing agreement between the MCSN and the Disc Jockeys Association of Nigeria, that's the DJAN. This agreement allows the DJs under the DJAN to access the necessary licenses legally. So this issue is not just about new enforcement, it's about awareness and compliance. Many DJs, especially those working in smaller circle or local events, often feel these things don't concern them. But whether you are playing at a club in Lagos, Port Harcourt, or Abuja, or at a birthday party in your neighborhood, the law does not discriminate. Playing copyrighted content publicly simply means you must have a license. Now, it is true that the entertainment industry is already dealing with a lot from tight budget to equipment costs to booking challenges. But let me say this, paying for a music license is not a punishment, it is part of building a healthy, fair ecosystem where everyone benefits. Now, let me paint a real life scenario. You imagine you are playing music at a high profile wedding, people are dancing, having fun, then officials from the copyright company walk in. They ask for your proof of license and you don't have it. In that moment, you could face penalties ranging from fines of up to 1 million naira to being taken to court or even a prison sentence. That embarrassment alone can ruin your reputation as a DJ. So this isn't about the money, it's about professionalism. It's about showing that you take your craft seriously. Now let's ask a very simple question. Why is this law even in place? You see, singers, composers, producers have been cheated for decades. Their music is used to generate money, to entertain crowds, to energize events, yet many of them don't earn anything from those uses. This directive by the NCC is part of the larger effort to correct injustice. It's about building a culture where music is not just consumed freely, but where creators are compensated fairly. Think about this. When a DJ plays Davido's song at a big party, that song becomes a part of the event energy. Should the creator of the song not earn something from that? Even beyond that, this move helps Nigeria to align with global copyright standards. In countries like US, UK, you cannot use music in any form publicly without licensing it. DJs and venues abroad take this very seriously, and that is what we must start practicing here too. As a music entrepreneur, I've talked about these a number of times. I've made videos, I've written posts explaining how copyright works in Nigeria, what copyright protects, who owns what, and how you as a creative or music user can avoid copyright infringement. If you're interested in understanding how copyright works more deeply, you can click this link or check my description to see the previous video on that topic. I'll walk you through the basic concept of copyright, how to register your work, and how to avoid infringement. So, what should you do if you are a DJ or an event professional? First, if you have not reached out to the DJAN, Find out how you can become a member and what steps you need to take to obtain your license legally. You can also contact MCSN directly to sort out your license. You can visit their website or follow them on social media to get accurate information. Also, let's not ignore churches and event planners. If you host programs with musical performances, be it gospel, instrumental music, or even backgrounds, ensure the music being used is licensed. Ignorance is no more an excuse. You might have a question: is the use of music in churches and schools considered fair use? But the short answer is not always. Many people assume that using music in churches or schools automatically qualifies as fair use, but that's not exactly the truth. Now, what is fair use? Fair use is a legal doctrine that allows limited use of copyrighted materials without permission, only under specific conditions. It's usually for criticisms, commentaries, new reportings, teaching, scholarships, research, and so on. Fair use is not a free license for any kind of public use. The context and how the material is used matters a lot. Now for the churches. Performing songs in church services doesn't automatically fall under fair use. In Nigeria and many other countries, religious organizations still need to obtain a public performance licensing from a body like HOSON, that's the Copyright Society of Nigeria, to use copyrighted music during events, especially if it's large gathering, live streamed or recorded, played through speakers in a concert-like settings, e.g. crusades, concerts, conferences. However, if the song being used are in the public domain or written by the church itself, then there's no need for license. But now about schools. Schools can qualify for the educational exemptions only when the use of the music is in the classroom settings, is part of formal instruction, is not recorded or publicly distributed, is not commercial. But if the school puts on a concert, graduation, cultural day, or public performance, it usually needs performance license because it's no longer strictly educational in nature. The bottom line is church services and school events can require copyright licensing, especially for public performance and recording. Fair use only applies in specific limited educational and critical use case, not for public concerts, broadcasts, or entertainment. Many churches and schools don't know this, but copyright laws doesn't automatically exempt them. To my fellow musicians and music creators watching this is your time to rise. This is the moment to protect your work. Don't just create and publish music. Register your work with MCSN or any other recognized management organization. Make sure your rights are protected so that you can begin to benefit financially when your work is used. I understand many creatives would feel discouraged because they believe nobody respects their intellectual property, but there is something I believe. The change starts with us. If you understand the system and engage with it, it will begin to work for us. Let me say this as I close. We are entering a season where knowledge is no longer optional. You must know, you must understand, and you must take responsibility. The days of I didn't know are fading away. If you use music, pay for the right to use it. If you create music, protect your rights and register them. Once again, if you want to understand how copyright works and how you can protect yourself as a creative or avoid troubles as a music user, check the link in the description below. I've done a detailed breakdown already and it will help you. If this video has helped you in any way, please like, share and subscribe. Share this with every DJs, music users and creatives you know. Stay informed, stay creative, stay legal and stay protected. See you in my next video. Bye.